In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your application for Android devices. So first of all, you want to go to the Emulate tab, and here in the Devices section, select one of the available devices. So I'm going to select Samsung Galaxy S, and now my application has reorganized so as to accommodate the Android version. Now you can test your application out over here and see if your application is working fine or not. And then you can go to the Build tab over here, and now there are a lot of options for Android. So there's just plain Android, there's Crosswalk for Android, there's Cordova for Android. So let's start with plain Android first. We will click on the Build button, and if you made any changes to the app, you can upload a new code or you can use the existing one. Since I've made no changes at all, I'll use the existing code. Now, there are 5 steps to complete your application. The first step is the details. Now, in this step, basically you can change the application title. You can specify a package name, so I'm going to change this over here. Now, the next step is you can change or select a URI scheme which can be used to launch this application from other applications. Now you have an application version over here so as to keep track of the build and updates, and then you have a lot of options. So the first is if the app uses in-app billing. Since I'm not using, I will just click on no. Does the app use camera? No. Does the app use geolocation? No. Does the app stream audio? No. Does the app record audio? No. And finally, does this app have access to user contact? So that will again be no. And now it is asking me which devices your build supports. So I'll just select phone or tablet, which is the only option available right now. Now over here, it is asking me which version of Android it will be using. So it will be using Android 4.2 to compile, but the app only needs 2.3 to run. Now over here, it is asking me to select a code base. So different code base have different compatibilities. I'll just use the cold one and go to the next step. In this step, you can designate your application orientation, that is portrait or landscape. So I'll let it be portrait. Now you can use 3 different images. The first one is your launcher icon, the second is your smartphone splash screen, and finally your tablet splash screen. Now to upload the images, you have to make sure that they have the following dimensions as they have specified over here. So different icons have different dimensions. Now for the launch icon, it will only support a PNG extension image, whereas it will support multiple types for the splash screen. So you can use the corresponding image. So I'll just select some images and come right back. So I've successfully uploaded these 3 images. Now I'll go to the next step. Now in this step, it is asking me if the application will use any plugins. Since I'm not using any plugins, I'm going to let that be off and go to the next step. Now over here, you can connect your application with Facebook. So you can get a Facebook app ID using this application signature over here. You can submit this code to Facebook app dashboard and receive an application ID. So we'll go to the next step. In this final step, it is asking you if your application will be configured for push messaging. Since we are not using that, we'll just let it be and go to the next step. And now the application is ready to build. So I'll click the Build App Now button and will start building my application. So we'll just wait until it completes. As soon as it is completed building, you will receive an APK file on your email which can be downloaded and re-uploaded to the Google Play Store for final approval and submission. Now, as you can see, the build was successful and I can download my build from over here. And you can see it is saving an APK file. So I'll click the save button. And now that we have successfully compiled our APK file, you can submit your application to the Play Store. You have also received an email from which you can forward this APK to some more people. And you can directly install your APK by transferring it to your phone, and make sure you have enabled the installation from unknown sources on your device. Now I'll close the build page and let's talk about Crosswalk for Android and Cordova for Android. So let's go to Crosswalk for Android first. And I'll use the existing code. And as you can see, there are only 2 steps. In the first step, it will take care of the app details. And now you're presented with a lot of options. So you can specify them over here. You can select a code base. So we will use the stable version. Do we want this application to run in full screen or not? So we will choose that to be no. And if we want the splash screen, so we will select yes. And now again the assets, so you can select all the different images and other stuffs that can be specified over here. And go to the next step. Now your application is ready to be downloaded. So Crosswalk is another compilation package that assists you with the application building. And finally, we have Cordova. And Cordova is much more simpler. You can just build your application in one click. That's all. So if you want a lot of customization, you can select a corresponding build tool according to that. So that's it for this video. In the next video, I will be showing you how to compile this application for Windows Phone devices.